My wife and I have been together for over 5 years. No children yet. We are building a career. We quarrel. We reconcile, I would say. An ordinary family in which everyone can see themselves. My work is connected with constant business trips all over our vast country. I never suspected that such a story could happen to me. I've heard of cheating, but me? No, 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 no. I never suspected my wife because I never noticed anything like that. Everything went on as it was going on. And then one day, as usual, went on another business trip, which was to last 5-7 days, drove my wife to work, kissed, and left. At that moment, something clicked for me. I don't know if you believe in a sixth sense, but at that moment there was probably one. The whole trip I had some kind of tension, some kind of panic attacks. On the airplane I was irritable, overall a knocked out state. When I got on the plane, I called my wife. "Hey babe, I've arrived. Everything okay? How are you there?" A pause followed. "Hey, everything's fine. I'm on my way home now. They let me off early today." "Great. Elizabeth, maybe we can call tonight. I'll be at the hotel around 9. "Yes, of course. I'll be waiting." This whole dialogue calmed me down. It was brief, but the tension was gone somewhere. I checked in, came to the site, found out everything, looked at everything, took the contract to familiarize myself with it in more detail, and in the evening around 9 o'clock, I was already in the hotel. I started to call, but nobody picked up the phone. There was that unsettling feeling again. It had never happened to me before, and the first thing that came to my mind after the 10th call was that something had happened. I began to reassure myself, but I didn't know if she'd fallen asleep or in the bathroom. Lots of things. Didn't help. Half an hour later I dialed again. There was no answer. Then I decided to call her friend and ask her what was going on. Maybe she knew where Elizabeth was. The friend replied that Elizabeth had fallen asleep at her place. They had a few drinks and she was knocked out. I calmed down, but the anxiety did not go away. At about 12 noon, a text came in from Elizabeth. "Zay, sorry, I fell asleep and my phone was on silent." At that moment, I was in negotiations, but from this SMS something clicked again. There was an urge to go home. Making the most of it quickly, rescheduling a few meetings, I took the first ticket and flew home. A crazy thing to do, but like I said, it was some weird feeling, some nudge that I needed to do it now. Stopping by my wife's work, her boss said she had taken a vacation at her own expense, that she wasn't feeling well, so she left work early. Got back in the car and started comparing some points, and nonsense started coming into my head. The first thing that came to mind was to call her friend. "Sarah, hi, where's Elizabeth?" "Hi, at work. Where else would she be?" "I can't get her on the phone." "Oh yeah, she left her cell phone at my place." "Got it, thanks. Tell her to call me back." I drove home with the mood to kill because I had something in my head that never entered it. When I got to the house, I saw a man on the balcony with my wife next to him. I don't know about anyone else, but my brain blacked out and a chill ran through my body. I don't even remember going up to the 5th floor and opening the door. Walked into the apartment, and there stood my Elizabeth looking dumbfounded. It was the same man in his underwear, and to say that I was shocked is nothing to say. But then the most interesting thing started. I was standing there looking at them, and the man ran to the balcony and started climbing out. The wife is babbling something in a pitiful tone, but I don't hear it at all. In a moment, the man is no longer visible. I sit in the kitchen, take out a bottle and pour a glass and drink it. At this point, clarity begins to set in. I don't know what I should have done, but I start packing her things. Besides, the state was such that I couldn't even hear what she was saying. After gathering almost all of her stuff, I took the suitcases and put them out the door. In the whole time, I didn't find any words for her. She packed up, and just as she started to leave the apartment with the words "sorry" and "excuse me," the doorbell rang. I opened it, and there were police standing on the doorstep. They said that a man seemed to have fallen off our balcony, broken 2 legs, an arm, and something else. When I heard all that, I just started laughing hysterically. And the policeman, seeing the suitcases, my wife, who was in tears, and me, who is hysterically laughing, stood in bewilderment. As you have already guessed, I was taken to the station. That's where I came to my senses. Turns out my wife had been cheating on me for a year. The guy who jumped off the balcony was her department head. The anxiety went away at the station. Somehow everything went quiet. There was no pain, no hatred, just silence and peace. The cops let me go, and Elizabeth tried to get back to me for a couple weeks. I had a feeling of emptiness for another 6 months or so. Trusting my sixth sense, going on a crazy act, I lost my wife, throwing horns from the balcony. That's how it is, as they say, both laughter and sin.